Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a quick reading. I have a couple of decks that I'll be using, so we'll see how I am with that. But I am not wearing a hat right now or other things because my hair is kind of damp, so it's still drying, but I'm wearing black, so I didn't think it would be bad. So this is the My Chemical Romance shirt. I really love this one. And my hair. Um, Hopefully it's not too bright with the ceiling light. Um, I'll start pulling out the cards. I mainly washed my hair, aside from washing your hair in general. I wanted to wash it. Well, I needed to wash it because I did like a couple of shades darker. I went to orientation for a college course the other day, and they had a PowerPoint, so they're trying to prepare us for whatever job we get into after the course, and the school has a uniform and you have to um, go by certain things that are approved. So I'll have scrubs later this month, and then I had to go by their chart. They had like colors that are approved and not approved. Luckily, like a burgundy was on the list of colors. So I've had a I've had this shade kind of. I go around these shades usually. I made a bunch of pierogies the other day, and I'm super extremely happy with how they turned out in general, but especially I made the potato and onion one again, and it reminded me of like the pierogies that I got in the restaurant, and they have like different names. I say pierogies because I feel like that sounds like I say it the most correctly. But I wanted to make the filling um, differently than last time. I went by a recipe the other time and it was still good. I feel like it like was perfectly balanced with the sour cream. I use lactose-free sour cream in a specific brand. I've tried another brand, but I don't like it as much. So that one, the one that I like, is one that sells out quickly, and I only can find it at one store. So I wanted the filling to be as decadent as I could make it. So I could put sour cream with it, but on its own, it's like super, super flavorful. I think adding another onion was uh the call for it too. It is interesting because like the other day I just like getting the specific insect totem, like animal totem, insect totem, and the totem was a spider, and I was like, oh, hopefully there isn't a spider on me because I just got the trash, the bins back into the garage, and I was like looking and to see if I had anything on me, and I didn't. And even that, it was weird because I kept getting tarantulas or like spiders on my YouTube feed, and it's not something that I normally look up, so it's, let me see what it could be. And it could be like being more confident in like the things that you can do and like the things that you know. It has like a priestess energy to it, and a weaving energy too. And if it's like birthing, because I feel like it could link to different types of archetypes, because even that, because like when a spider has a lot of babies, there's like a lot of them that come out, and it's like kind of like empress or maternal or birthing something, and it can be like maybe something a lot greater than we're expecting, like the things that might feel like a setback or that set us up in a way where we weren't expecting to be set up. So we force ourselves to change courses. So I just wanted to say are there's still a lot of support for Ukraine in the US. Um, it's weird when you have like someone or something that represents you, and then you're just like, I don't know how this person represents me because I don't agree with this person. But because there's like rallies today and Ukrainian groups, and they were watching what was happening. So I think that that's like the spirit that doesn't die out when we stay true to how we're feeling or how we navigate certain things in life. And it kind of like is what it is, and it kind of reminds me, sorry, like when it kind of feels like school all over again, because when I talked about this in another video, when I was in private school, I wasn't allowed to do certain things or like wear certain things or have certain things. And now with this course, um, I'm mainly happy that I don't have to take out my piercings here, but um, I'm like, honestly, I know you're trying to prepare us, but what if that's not the path that we're wanting to take? And I know that I just talked about the setbacks, so that could be it with it. What feels like a setback or what feels like something that we didn't or we weren't looking for in general has kind of like come to us unexpectedly. Um, or maybe help comes in like a different form. And I mean, because like I spent the last couple of years working in a pharmacy, and there were some things that I had to abide by in terms of like what I was supposed to wear and stuff. Like I had a lab coat, and I wore scrubs too, but I got to pick the type of scrubs I had. So it's not, I feel like it was a little more lenient. So I don't know, maybe in the future there's something that's unexpected in that way. And there could be like stuff that keeps trying to like creep back in, even though maybe sometimes you spend your life trying to like not be a part of that. Maybe you're from a small town and then you try to get away and then all of a sudden like you're back where you didn't want to be. Or like a person um or thing in life that makes it seem like almost deja vu where something that you didn't like in your life is happening all over again, or trying to take something and even when you kind of walked away from it, it's still looming over your head in a way. It kind of happened to me like with, sorry, I'm gonna turn over the cards. With moving from the last state that I was in, and I tried to change my driver's license, and then they were like giving me a hard time. I've moved like around a lot, so I'm kind of used to going to the DMV, but this is like the first time they were like telling me that I had to get something from the last state that I was in for them to do something so they could like be able to give me my license. And I'm like, all right. And then basically that state was, I've never been in a stricter state, and I don't know if it's because it's like literally right outside of DC where I lived, and then um it was like less than 30 minutes for me to get there. And they like really hold down whatever it is because they're like in 2023, did you have insurance on this specific day? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did, but let me think about it. And I gave them like my policy number because I've had the same insurance for like the past couple of years. And so that was like the weird part about it. Um, and once you're a member, you're always a member. I have USA. So, um, I was like kind of confused about it. I was like, yeah, I think I do. But now since they put that on me, like it like really set me back for the DMV stuff. and I have to go back like when I'm scheduled next, and I already had that appointment like a month in advance before I went there. And they're like, well, if you didn't have it on this specific day, then we're going to charge you 145 for reinstatement and then like 600 for non-compliance. And I'm just like, dude, like what the fuck? So I was like, I've never had that happen in any state. And I was like, honestly, growing up, especially when I started living on my own at um not like a super young age, but like right when I was old enough to just like jet out of there, like out of my hometown. Um, Not out of my hometown, but like close to it. I did. And honestly, like when I was younger, I like bullshitted all the time with stuff, and it took me a long time to like wrap my head a couple of like things, but I've never had this, so I was kind of like confused about what just happened. So even like you could have a dying dog on your doorstep, and people love dogs, and I feel like the regular reaction would just to be to care for the dog, but it's like the person that they went to, they want compensation instead, and they're just like, well, I'm not going to do this for free. So it's interesting because I was also thinking about the um like circle of friends, that type of reading that I do sometimes. There are two archetypes that come up, and it's like three archetypes that come up. So you have the King of Earth, the King of Fire, or the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the King of Water, or the King of Cups. I feel like the King of Pentacles seems like to be more in reverse. It just doesn't um feel right in that way. And I feel like honestly, like the water and the fire, like the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Cups, the King of Water, can be like one archetype because the King of Earth is generous, professional, responsible, practical, the successful time, confidently accept opportunities offered, the Midas touch. It kind of feels like a person that like just takes and takes and takes, and it's interesting that conversation of well, videos you see of, well, I saw this video where a person said she voted for who she voted for because she thought that he would lower the cost of living, and he didn't lower the cost of living. Um, Maybe other people being on their side because they really idolize or want to have that type of lifestyle that this type of person has, and have the idea that if I'm on their side, they're going to be willing to share. And it's like they have what they have because they don't know how to share. Um, and they make these big back purchases and promises and only do things to their own benefit. Um, you think that they're going to give you your fair share, but you you'd be surprised about the types of behaviors that people have when money is right in front of them. And it's like the thing that they love to taste. So the Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention, time is of the essence. Think things through carefully, and then King of Water, King of Cups. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you, trustworthy and heartfelt advice, charity work. So I feel like these are together because there is like a sense of there's like a sense of compassion, but there's also a sense of like speediness too with the Knight of Wands. Like there is like a dire need, but I don't feel like the Knight of Cups, I'm sorry, the King of Cups, I kind of combined them together. The King of Cups is in reverse, so it feels like energy that has been through the cycles or been through certain things. And um, during these times, they're not as phased as maybe what they used to be. And then with that, you have 20, the Judgment card or renewal, Archangel Jeremiel. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. So this kind of feels like when it says that, sorry, I need to redo the nails that got stained, but it just seems like literally if something closes, like a door or opportunity that was presented to you closes, then that energy leaves it vacant. Like if you leave it behind, it leaves it vacant for another opportunity to show up. And it could be the same type of opportunity or same type of involvement, but overall, it just seems like with the judgment there, judgment is major arcana, so it's like it kind of feels like everything that has happened, everything that we've been through and done, it can't be for nothing. Like there's no point of wasting the progress just to have something set back by a job that, like maybe if you're changing jobs, and it can be dependent on like where you're going or like the job that you're getting if you're changing it completely, but in general, if you were getting paid with a certain amount and then somebody's trying to like skimp out on you and give you almost like half of what you um earned from your last job, and and just because it's a job does not mean like it's a good opportunity. And even with the last job I had, there was like the thing where just because you show up to work doesn't mean you're reliable. Just because like you help somebody doesn't mean you're actually like contributing. Or or if you're like, just because if you're in a group project and you're like associated with a group but you don't do like anything and you're just like piggybacking what other people do, it doesn't mean that you're like a benefit to the group. Like you're the only reason why the group is like standing where they are is because they're keeping up and they're like making up for whatever slack that you have or like whatever slack another person has. I wasn't necessarily directing it at a specific person in a way, but I mean this is like a circle of friends reading, so you could take it for what it is. Um, so you have oh well, I'll read that in a second. The present is the Ten of Cups. I feel like in the midst of things, there is still the love and support, and even when you feel like there's lacking in another area, again with that group scenario, there's still is so much like provided for, like um there's like the helpful hand that you see in other areas. It's kind of seeing something that's full rather than empty, half full, half empty. The obstacle, it feels like there's two cards, but they're minor arcana. I'm not saying that they're not big things, but I feel like they might be easier to assess. And the thing about it, if a King of Pentacles is in reversed, it wouldn't be that surprising if somebody got like too cocky with things. And sometimes those things don't end well, and you end up with less than what you started with. I feel like it could be a backlash, especially like maybe in a worldly perspective, and it's not something that just money fixes. Like loss of life is not something that you can easily replace with money. So you have the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. So both together, two and three, and because the Three of Wands, because the Two of Wands, it's like there is one of those plans or desires that you're wanting to put or like plan to put into action. The Three of Wands, it kind of feels like a delay because the Three of Wands traditionally you see like a ship, and somebody is like overseeing that ship like from a distance, and it could be coming back or leaving. And it seems like the obstacle might be linked to the type of return that comes with it, with what the goal was set to be. The goal could have been the Ace of Wands with that initial idea or plan. Um, could also be intersected with the Ace of Swords since I said idea. But there is that spark that comes with it. Two of Wands being the planning energy, then the Three of Wands. There's something that implements it, but since it's an obstacle, it seems like there's that complication that's there. But it does come from something else. Like it seems like there's a different source, which seems promising because again, you have the wands and the obstacle, and you have the balance of with the other archetypes. As I was saying, it felt like there were two archetypes that were represented. So the Pentacles were the King of Pentacles or the King of Earth, and then the two archetypes being the King of Water, King of Cups, and then the Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands. So again, you have the fire and water there. So you have fire in obstacle, and then you have water in how to overcome the obstacle. And I'm looking at the positions of the cards right now. The King of Cups is technically after the King of Wands, so that can be some indication too that that could be the type of um, transmutation or like something that evolves. Um, the Ace of Cups, it just seems like there is that silver lining, but it comes from another source. And it can be closer to the way that we implement what we do and what we say and how we say it. And um, like the avenue just doesn't seem like a straight line. Like with Cups energy, it can link to Cancer because Cancer has like the water element and associated with the water element. Cancer is also associated with the chariot too, as we know. Um, well, if you don't know, the Cancer sign is associated with the crab, and crabs don't exactly just go straight. They like do a bunch of zigzags and all the those types of movements. So it seems like that could be some type of trance too. Um, and it might be like getting to know the crab or getting to know that type of source, like that water source, because um, I just remember from one like childhood show, they were doing something. I don't know if it's for all crabs, but they were like making the crab, I think, fall asleep because they were doing like this with their hand, and the crab was just like getting into like a different position and like reacting to what was going on. The overall energy is not surprising because you have the Six of Pentacles here. And the Six of Pentacles, um, it's a card that doesn't really give a lot. Like it's a card that maybe a person, I feel like it could be associated to the King of Pentacles, the King of Earth, since that's the um element, same element, and it feels like they go together. So the Six of Pentacles is a card that is one of those energies where, well, and traditionally in the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, where you have like maybe another person that might need more assistance, and then there's another person. There could be like a different association or a different want or need to want to be associated with another person opposed to like the one that um is asking for assistance. There does seem to be the possibility of negotiation with the Six of Pentacles. Um, it seems like there might be a little bit of a bite that comes from the Six of Pentacles, but I don't feel like it's necessarily linked to the King of Pentacles necessarily. And that's a little surprising because the King of Pentacles is more like a businessman energy. Like when you think of Earth or you think of Pentacles in tarot, it's a lot of times you can associate it with like career and money. Something that's like more substantial could be literally earthy, like things that come from the ground. But um I feel like the Six of Pentacles in this reading, there is like a type of negotiation that comes in. I wouldn't even be surprised if people try to take down the behavior or like there's like a cockiness that comes out of the King of Pentacles. So there's something that makes it seem like that's taking it down a notch. And it can be linked with like unusual behavior. Like, I don't know, you're just hearing all these stories lately on unusual deaths that have been happening. And there's like some public figures that have been dying, like, and it seems pretty like abnormal, even though there's some natural causes for some of them. But like there was this one couple and they were like kind of older and they were like public figures. I didn't really know who they were, but they um died like if I believe like in their house and by like toxic fumes, and it seemed unusual for that type of thing. It just seems like there's a lot of things like happening and people that maybe are, not like it doesn't seem like they're dying super naturally either, like or naturally and um it's happening in different age brackets. So in the past you have the Nine of Cups, and this seems like almost like trolling or disappointing type of energy because it seems like there's a lot that was planned or a lot that was like promised or there was like the conception that there were more things to be done because it's in the past and now, well, even you have the nine and now you have the 10. So the 10 of Cups it's interesting with like the Six of Pentacles. I don't feel like that went away, like the energy of the Nine and Ten of Cups. Since I said Pentacles, about to say Pentacles, it could be linked to that. So I feel like there might be something that is worthwhile in terms of the pentacle energy, like something that's given an opportunity. And the Ten of Cups is often linked to like community too. So there might be a little bit of um, help there with the community energy. It seems like it's going a little, in terms of 9 and 10, that seems like it's towards the end and it seems a little promising in that way. And then the obstacle is 2 and 3 of wands. And then you're back to cups. I feel like something kind of circles back to cups because with everything that goes around, it kind of like there is a center of all this, like a purpose. But towards the future, you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, I'm not saying it's a bad card. It just is a card where maybe you were wanting something or there was like a benefit to be had, and yet you maybe received something else or you received it in a different form. So there is like that weariness there, and you could take it like for what it is. Um, but there just seems to be energy of not getting it exactly how you were thinking. And I feel like that's one of those things that are linking to the King of Pentacles, like the Cups of the Pentacles. Um, because like the King of Pentacles just makes it seem like he'll revel in that type of energy, knowing that um what's it saying or sayings of like not being picky, and I don't want to say it like in a bad way. Um, because my mom says it to me sometimes, but it's like beggars can't be choosers. Like if I don't have like the opportunity to do like this and that, um, then do it this way. But honestly, it felt like a lot of times when that would happen, even as an adult, it was like um it didn't seem right in that way because it doesn't seem true to you. So I'm gonna pull out another card for that, and then I'm gonna show the oracle cards. So it's not like a surprising one. I don't feel like this one's linked specifically to the King of Pentacles, but the whole scenario is kind of like there. So you have the Four of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles. And it's almost like doing things because this is linked to like this the Ten of Cups is also community. This one is like lineage of where you come from. It's like that rooted earth type of energy, a rooted tree, like the family tree. So that might be something to be a little wary about because again, the King of Pentacles might be looking at that and saying, well, they really need help, so I might as well try to get something out of it too, since they need help. And I mean the judgment cards here, so it feels like there's a lot of that to a lot of a lot of things to consider since so much has been said and done and fought for. So, but with the tens here, I feel like there's a ton of like support, even if it's not specifically lineage or like they're specifically linked to you or like where you're from, there's still like the love that comes from other places. So there's the clairaudience, Archangel Zadkiel. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Spread your wings. Archangel Ariel, do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you're ready to soar. Then hello from heaven, Archangel Azrael. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. And you know what to do, Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. I really feel like that links to the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands. And there could be like a strong guidance or strong approach to some things because I don't know, there's like even I was talking to my friend and she was like saying like she remembered because she was not like specifically there like when I like my ex and I broke up like a couple years ago, but she was like there for me. But she heard the story of like when I said that um I had like two specific things or like occurrences where I was thinking like I'm gonna try to work things out, and then there's a being behind me, and then like a being like in the corner of the other room, like when I walked out, and then my ex was like sitting on the couch or whatever, or like maybe sleeping on the couch or something, and like just, like yelling, like almost screaming to leave this person. And I thought that was like crazy because not like crazy, but like it was so in like specific because sometimes like I had like shorter mini conversations with people and somehow it was like brought up, yeah, I'm going like at the time I was going out with this person, and then so like intensely or like drastically I felt like my guides were like talking through the person and being like leave him, like specifically like to yell to like leave him. From the people that I was talking to, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I barely said anything to you, so this is kind of weird. But like she remembered that type of guidance because she feels like she's guided in a specific direction too that she feels strongly about. So I'm going to like I feel like something just pushes forward with the spread your wings and with like the judgment card and what to do. But I feel like it's the Ace of Cups, it feels like it's coming from a good source. And it could be a physical source with the Six of Pentacles, but I'm feeling like with the Ace of Cups, it's really linked to like a centered heart or like having good intentions for it. Like there's something that is around that. So if you feel like maybe someone tried to jip you in this way, there is like more love around in the horizon. And it also reminded me of like food is love, and it's already like a little longer than what I was expecting. But like food is love because I'm like happy that I have been making more cooking videos now that I have a kitchen to cook in and my parents' kitchen to cook in while I'm house sitting, and it's nice to like have that way for people to kind of see or connect or think like wow, this like food or like where the food comes from is like really cool, and wanting to involve themselves or like to be a part of it or to like create something because they see like how delicious the food is or like maybe like that type of vision of wanting to, like, being a foodie and wanting to try delicious things. So I feel like that's like a nice like community thing too. And even with like food is love, like even like the strictest of moms maybe that, I mean, you can be strict and show affection, but like some moms might not like show a lot of affection, but if they do show affection, it's a lot of times it's like through their food. So there, that's like another way of looking at it. So the other card that I have that I don't usually get is the card of, I'm sorry, the Cedar of Lebanon. And this comes from the Tree Angel Oracle deck. So I'll read this one. Okay. The oak is the king of the forest, while the ash is the high king, according to old German proverb that celebrates the power of the first and the grace of the latter. Under southern skies, however, these tree aspects of majesty are embodied by the cedar of Lebanon. No other tree is more magnificent. Even King Solomon, circa 11th century BC, valued its wood, incorporating it into his legendary temple in Jerusalem. Nor would the kings and pharaohs of the mighty Orient of antiquity build their palaces without including this stately tree. A small nature reserve still exists today in Upper Lebanon, containing the last of the cedars. However, there are problems caused by illegal logging operations accelerating climate change. The much prized cedar is also at the dawn of the so-called civilization, the rise of the city in ancient Sumer, cedar of the world tree. Sorry if I said that wrong. The living home of the most revered deities of all time. The angel of the Lebanese cedar embodies true majesty. Its will and integrity will be um, unsaliable even under torture. Its sphere of influence is vast, including ability, care, responsibility, trust, justice, honesty, wisdom, farsightedness, foresight, creativity, and independence. The cedar brings warmth to us all like the sun. Its constellation is Leo, like the lion who protects his territory without trespassing on lands of others. Being chosen by Cedar is like being knighted by King Arthur or Richard the Lionheart. All you could do is bend your knee, lower your head, and know you are worthy. The mighty Cedar Angel has you in its sights. Recognize your inner majesty. If the king is in exile, liars, charlatans crawl out of their holes. Trickery, intrigue, slander, cold-heartedness, and abuse of power ensue, leading to dispute, discord, dependency, among other ills. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video.